Greetings and welcome to the Anonymous Andrew Podcast, Life and the Choices We Make, the choices other people make. This podcast explores all things as they relate to dating and romantic relationships, why we ignore or choose to ignore or miss the red flags. Red flags like gaslighting, cheating, lying, narcissistic behavior, deception, addiction, and so much more. Join me each week as we continue my journey into the modern dating world with my weekend rants, anonymous guest dating stories, and experts who share their wisdom so we can better navigate the dating terrain. If you are new to the show or have been with me from the beginning, hold on tight to the Anonymous Andrew experience. Now, on to the show. Greetings, Anonymous Andrew. Life and the choices we make. So, okay, if you've been following the past week or two, you've seen that I've taken a left turn on the podcast. I am now doing a deep investigation into the Twin Flames universe controversy. And if you're just tuning in for the first time and you're not sure what that is, go look up on Amazon and Netflix. Just type in Twin Flames universe, and there are 2 documentaries, and you will catch up on what this is all about. I've explained it several times in several episodes, but if you're just tuning in and don't know what it is, just go check out the documentary. So, but here's a little bit of a problem that I have. I have many recordings that I did back in October of 2023 that I just have not put in to the rotation yet. And it's just not fair to my guests who took the time out of their schedule and came on and recorded, an hour or so. And then I did the editing, and it's just sitting there on my computer. So I'm giving up the weekend rants for a while. Yes, I know. I love them too. And I know you guys love them and yada, yada, yada. They'll be back. I promise you they'll be back. In the meantime, I need to bring you some of the episodes that I recorded that are just sitting there, and it wouldn't do the guest justice if I don't air them. By the way, as always, for an old episode that's like 3 or 4 months old, you're going to hear me say certain things that are no longer the case. Because maybe at the time they were, but I'm posting this now in late January. And just keep that in mind. So if you hear me say something and you're going to say, well, he didn't say that last week or the week before, that's because it's recorded a while ago. This episode is with Luis Contreras. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he will introduce himself and tell us all about a dating app with a twist. It is... Well, I'll let him explain it, because if I try to explain it, I'll do it not any justice. So enjoy the episode, and we will chat on the other side. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Anonymous Andrew Podcast. And today, I have found yet another gentleman who has created an app. And I am so excited. With us today, I have Luis Contreras. And I hope I pronounced that right, because I am learning Spanish. And good afternoon, Luis. Say hello.
Hey, Andrew, how's it going?
Okay, I'm doing great. I'm seriously doing great because I'm excited. So Luis has created a new app for us. And it is called Yuon, and it's spelled U-O-N. So I'm going to start there, Luis, with that. Explain to us how you came up with that, what Yuon app is, and then you can talk about. I think it's augmented reality. Let's just
Yeah.
get right into it. All right,
Yeah, yeah. No, no. The name itself is a question, right? Like, you on for tonight? You on for this weekend?
that's great.
So whenever you think about that is, are you connecting with me? Right? That is what comes down to this question. Like, are you connecting with me? And when I thought about what was missing in the world, um, I had been divorced 13 years ago after being married for 5 years. And the idea came to me, about 5 or 4 years ago. But it all started with what happened to me after 13 years ago, and it was thinking about, like, man, when I got divorced, I had to reconnect with my friends group to go out and reconnect with the world, and then reconnect with the dating world. And I felt like social media had a great way of making you feel digitally connected, but I just felt like in the real world it didn't help you there. And it's great for helping you with other things, like, you search Google and you find whatever video you need. You could find how you've been using something wrong for the last 5 years after you watch a TikTok video. And then you start looking at the dating world, and I saw that every dating application was so similar in the aspect of, like, Coffee Meets Bagel, Tinder, Hinge. At the end of the day, they're all like, they're just depends on what you're looking for, right? So you go to Christian Mingle, Coffee Meets Bagel. It's like, that each one of these comes with a different type of user base. But after you match with somebody, you start this conversation, and then you feel like you end up re, uh, reconnecting and knowing them in a new way when you meet them in person. So the whole thing starts all over again.
Yeah,
So I just felt like, we have all this technology, but every time that you use it, you're escaping from reality,
correct.
right? And even in the direction that you're seeing a lot of companies go right now, it's all virtual reality where they want to help you escape from where you're at right now into this other world. So my thought process was like, let me create an app that helps you with augmented reality, just help you connect with the world around you. And the app, it's a social media app, but it's also a dating app. And we're using augmented reality as a tool. So we've some of the partnerships that we got, I'm really excited about, and I know that you're gonna think, well, what does one have to do with the other? Well, when you have a tool that you create, um, I like to just see in how many ways that we could really help this flourish. And we've had some powerful connections. We're working with Hopix, which is a homeless outreach in Los Angeles. They do elderly care. They do battered women, and that they do so much outreach to the community. And what they focus on is something that we were able to help with, right? Because with our social media platform, they could go into any situation, like, say, okay, we're trying to look for homeless encampments. Well, they'll, like, think about it like a pin drop, and then they'll get guidance. And sometimes these areas are not a building, right? It could be under a freeway. It could be, like, it's just off the freeway in an abandoned building, but a specific spot. So they're able to get these locations because what they're trying to do is help this community get back to the working force, or just help them in so many ways to just get themselves back established. And then we're working. We just got a connection with Slammers Youth Club, so we're mapping out the fields for the soccer. How many times have you gone to, like, a soccer? Somebody says, "Hey, my son's gonna play or my daughter's gonna play soccer. Come watch." And then you get there and there's like 20 fields. Well, we're mapping them
Right.
out, and then you'll
Yeah.
you'll have access to the exact spot where the game is. And we're excited because now that part of the social media platform. But the intention of that was always, when we first created it, it was different. It was me saying, like, look, I have my daughter that's 13 years old. I have this journey of my life, and I know that there's been so many great moments that have happened, and some really tough ones. When I got divorced, I would work. I had just got a promotion, and I put everything into everything I do. So I was working about 12 hour, 13-hour days. I was commuting 4 hours. I wasn't sleeping much. I was working like 6 days a week, and so, at one point I had her most of the time, and what I would do is I would call, like, my family, and be like, hey, look, I'm exhausted. I can barely talk. I have to, like, just fall asleep. because I can't commute these 2 hours. It would be dangerous. And they would help me. You know, it takes a community. And I remember I would sleep in front of the gym, and I would sleep close enough to the light where I felt comfortable, far enough to where I could go to sleep. Um, but that spot, I could never forget it. Right? It's completely engraved in my memory. And if I could have her know the good moments and all the moments that we shared and the moments I went through, I think it's important to be able to record these memories exactly where they happen and be able to share them. And we call it leaving a mark, right? You know, remember the cavemen when they left their mark with their hand
Yep.
on the rock? Well, so with us, you'll see a hand, which is the action button. And that hand, when you first get there, is how to take a picture, how to leave, like post a mark. And, you know, we always believe that those memories are so important. And as I built this, I realized that the way that we built it through collections, you could use it for so much more. So we used it to map out casinos, map out stadiums. And now, every time you visit one of these places that we've mapped, you'll be able to get the information you need in the same uniform look. You don't have to go to a new place. So then now, but that technology that we're using, we also have the where you at feature, because how many times have you been? We're in 2023, and even though you have like the Find My Friends and all these things, what is the thing that we always do? Hey, where you at?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't take you directly to the person, you know, and and especially in big crowds, and you know, people have different type of phones, Samsung. So with our technology, with the Where You At feature, you'll just have your friend list. You'll hit the Where You At button, and then you hit View. And when you hit View, it'll show you where they are on a dot that displays the straight shot to where your friend is, and then it'll tell you how far they are. And you guys are both able to see each other, and it shows you the positioning where your friend is. Through that screen, you'll be able to see a dot, and it, you know, like, and this is amazing. I used it. The one that I was most fascinated by, I'm at a Hakkasan in Las Vegas, the club. I'm on the second story of the club, and Kalinda, we were shooting a video with, I go down there and let's see, let's use this live. And I'm on the second floor and she's on the first floor, and I'm waving the phone down, and I find her through the crowd and she's waving. You can see it on our website, right? And one of the videos that we shot. There's nothing that exists like that. You know, today
Yeah.
there's nothing that exists. You can find somebody in the crowd, and it's you know, all about connection, right? You're finding like just being able to connect in different ways. So now we go to the next part of the app, and it's about dating. So everybody, you know, when I first talked to some people, they're like, you know, this app, are you sure? Because you're building so many things. I go, look, the app is about connecting in the real world. So think about it as the perfect app for going out. Either you're gonna find somebody because they just posted a video, like you know, somebody I was at the game with posted a game. We're testing it, and they posted a video at picture at the game. Sorry, and I was able to find their location based off the picture. So now you connect with your friends off of their post in real life, but you could use this because we're still in the process of getting this out, but you'll be able to see public post just by swiping over your phone, and you're like, oh look, somebody posted over there, and you click on it and it'll expand it, and you'll see. But this is when you go out. It's a cool way of being able to see as people leave things in this digital world, right? And augmented world. So now the dating part of it. And this part, we're actually in the process right now. We have the beta, so you could test out the beta with different iPhones. You could, and then see what it shows. So you'll pick your status by a little color, right? Right now, and you'll see another person and the little status. So it'll put a dot over that person. And the way that the app is going to work is that you're going to fill out your dating profile like anybody else, and you'll have traditional offering of swiping through profiles. But the power in this is going to be when you go out in the real world, and you're not going to be able to choose which profile. No, you're going to go out and either you match or you don't match. But in the real world setting, you'll know that there's a invite to this group, and people just like opt in for this little event that's going to go on for like an hour. They'll happen, you know, we're going to be working with hotels, bars, and anybody could start an event. You could be at a Barnes and Noble and start an event. It'll invite the people around you, and they'll tell you how many people are going to join. When you get there, all you have to do is swing over your phone, and you'll be able to see who's part of the event. Not only that, you'll be able to see who you match with. So one of the things that's so powerful to me is that it's so inclusive to everybody. If you're part of the LGBTQ community, if you're looking for something very like, you don't have to go to a specific app, you don't have to go
Right.
to a specific bar. You could just be a part of a community that's looking to connect. And we're using this tool for dating. We're using it for networking as well. Somebody wants to create a networking event, and it's all in the power of the users, right? It's a free way to connect when you go out. The dating platform is going to offer more stuff, and like traditional, there's always costs associated once you get more into it. But the main thing about this is the connection and doing something that's never existed before and seeing it. There's a there's a feeling that you get when you know that somebody wants to be talked to. They have the dot that you match, and you're
Mm.
like, wow, okay. The biggest thing is with this cancel culture, the way everything's set up is like you don't know if you're offending somebody by just talking to them, and so many people want to connect. Like the reality is, man, so many people are just looking for an avenue, but they don't want to go to the bar, they don't want to go to the club. That's
Right.
not their scene. And when they go to these apps, they don't even get the full experience because you're competing against all these thousands of filtered profiles, right? If you're not the top cream of the crop
Right.
profiles, you're competing against thousands of people that are filtering their profiles and they're fluffing up their stories. And now you don't get the full benefit of the app. But what happens when you go out in the real world? Right? Because we all do it. We're at home and you're looking for, oh no, no, not for me, not for me, not for me. But those same people that you're swiping over in the real world, you would talk to. But it's just because you're feel that you're in the position to choose the cream of the crop, but they don't match with you, and you're not going to get those levels of expectations. And some people do, but for most people, is like they feel like it changes the way that you view dating
Yeah.
because every conversation if is one or two sentences away from going into ghost mode. But in real world, you don't do that, right? In the real world, it's different. When you go out and you're anywhere, you start meeting somebody. Both people, their level of expectations kind of is different because that grading curve, as you see everybody in the room, nobody looks like their Instagram picture, right?
Correct. Yeah.
It's the reality, and
So
I think it's a way of bringing a little bit of the traditional and blending in with technology. Think about it like having Cupid in your pocket.
I I'm just blown away by all this because I think it's like, wow, nobody thought about this until now, and I think it's a great idea. And as you're talking, some ideas or questions. So I got a couple questions for you. Uh, Let me just get, we'll go outside the dating realm for a second. Can this
Yeah,
be used? Because I watched a video on your website and so there was I correct me if I'm wrong. There was a video on your website where it shows that if like my father has dementia and he wanders out of the house, I can go find him.
that is a stage that we're building right now.
Right.
We're trying
And
to get it. We're trying to get it. We're either going to have it with another cell phone, or we're trying to see what wearables that we continue to work on.
like a
That's a
watch. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's like I said, we're all about helping the community, and I think there's so many moments of, and there's things out there, right? There is things out there, but to be able, to me, I think what helps the moment that you get this notification, and then you're pointed in that direction. So we're trying to see if we could work with the city to provide something at low cost, just as like an option, right? The whole thing is that it's just not available to people. The tools are not available, and
Right.
and
So
we built this in mind. That tool, we're gonna have it when you go out with your friends as well. So say if you go out with a group of people, and you guys say you're gonna meet up at at whatever bar, and somebody gets kicked out, it'll notify you when somebody leaves the area that you guys said that you're gonna hang out at. Because when you're drinking, you could
yeah.
pick a designated person, but what happens a lot of the times is that you won't even know when somebody got kicked out or they left.
Or if they go
And
to the bathroom, they don't come back. You could. Yeah, I see where you're going. Now, so this now as a parent, although my children are grown up, okay, but as a parent, let's say you go to the zoo or you go to the whatever, and you have three kids with you. If you create this wearable, let's say a watch or something, or could it be also help keep track of your family, where like you're all out for the day and
Yeah,
one of
that
the
that
kids?
was yeah, that was the intention of it. And right now we're building this so you can do it with a cell phone first. And then hopefully we can work with all existing wearables that there is now, right? You have the Apple AirTags, and we're working with a couple of different partners to try to see what would be the best approach, right?
Okay,
And I think that's such a cool tool. Um, my daughter's 14, and sometimes we go to Disneyland and she wants to be with her friends and wants to like wander the park
yeah,
alone. And they're getting older. You have to give them a little bit of room,
space.
and
Yep.
but that's always a concern. That's always a
So
concern.
so you'll be able to, as she's wandering around Adventureland or whatever, or Disney World, whatever. So you'll see the green dot on your phone that where she's at. That's
Yeah, like so it'll notify you if somebody like left the area. But
is there.
on this part of it is like you guys opt into the service. But when you go to look for somebody with the Where You At feature, the reason I like the way it was built um, is because it's like a phone call. It doesn't work until the other person accepts. So like you'll hit the Where You At feature view, and then it starts ringing for the other person. And then once they agree, then you could see them. I think that's the way that it should be. A lot of the
Yeah,
apps now, it's like I gotta agree to share my location for the next half an hour.
that was
You
my
know,
next question was about privacy. So you
yeah,
can't use this to stalk somebody. You cannot be
no,
used for
no. The
no.
the whole purpose of the tool when we built it was for you to have control.
Okay.
And like somebody can't see me unless I accept. So even though they're your friends, they just can't see your location until you accept, right? That opt-in service for going out, you can end it at any time. And then the dating, I think the dating is so powerful because you have to turn on, even though you participate in the event, you have to turn on your signal. And by doing so, there's a little toggle in the middle, and it lets you know, look, you're active on this event. Also, for the dating event, you can't see anybody beyond 30 feet. So for the dating
Oh.
event, you can't see somebody half a mile down the road. You can't see like it's just meant
I
for like whatever's in the room.
so there's like a geo fence built into it.
Uh,
Or
yeah, so
not not
it's we're just controlling how far the signal is going to be displayed. So
gotcha.
by controlling those parameters, that gives you the ability to say, look, this should only be met while you're within the room. And I know that, the first thought was like, oh man, like, are people going to be comfortable with, using their phone? And look, in this day and age,
Yep.
people are so comfortable with technology, right? They'll do a vlog video while you're having dinner right next to them,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So it's like, it's no, I mean, if you're using technology for something like that, why wouldn't you use it to just
No, I
connect with
agree.
people,
I agree.
and I think that the power in that, it's for people that want to connect, but they're a little bit shy. They have to do nothing more than just turn on the status.
Yeah.
For the people that are out there looking, and again, you're still gonna get, it'll still be that somebody says, well, no, thank you, but to be able to know who's participating in a room, like that just changes the way the whole dynamic is. People, and then for the person that looks says, I don't want to be bothered, they have the power to just say, I'm not
No.
connecting with
Yep.
anybody.
Yep.
And then we also have the feature that says, I'll connect with anybody. I'm single in everybody's eyes. So that's going to look a little bit different, right? You know that they're not your match, but they're willing to talk. Because sometimes you're like, you know what? Screw what I'm looking for. That's not
Yeah.
working. Let me just see who's available. So you
I
have that
I
option as
like
well.
that. Yeah. Yeah. There's a spectrum there that you can be very specific, or you could just say screw it or fuck
Yeah.
it. We could say that.
Yeah.
Now, I did an episode recently, and it hasn't aired yet. I don't know the audience when they'll hear it, but about romance scams. So it almost sounds to me like if you use this for dating, you might be able to avert romance scams or catfishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a huge one, and look, when we started, because we're releasing the beta and we're doing this in a fashion. We're gonna invite people that participate in this event, a lot, just singles in different areas, and we're going to, you know, cater this event, get it ready, and then have people test it and just talk about we're building it with the crowd that is looking to meet people, right? We have in mind everything that we've built asking, people exactly what they're looking for out of this. And now that we have this beta that we're building the full extended version, but right now it's just sharing your status. And we want to get, you know, to the people that are going to be using it, we want to see, like, how do you feel when you're seeing that? How do you feel knowing that all you got to do is turn on the toggle, and what questions should we be asking for matching, right? We have our questionnaire, but there's things that people just that really matter to people nowadays, and you don't see that on a questionnaire, and I think those things are important. So we're gonna do this all live and go in different areas, and we're excited, to connect people, show them what we've been building, and having a community of people that are using and tired of these apps, right? They're
yeah.
tired of the everyday
I'm tired
same
of them.
concept. Yeah,
I'm on.
it's
I'm on all of them,
and and some people, and then the bots, right? Like, people are
yeah.
really looking for dating, and then what do you have in there? You have like bots that are not real, or you have people that are trying to solicit different things, or you have scams where people are making people fall in love and they having them send them money, and like,
Yep. Well, that's what I
yeah,
was talking about. So you have
yeah, yeah.
something built in there to filter them out. I mean, do you have something where you need to verify that you are who you are?
Yeah, but I mean, no matter, that's a really hard thing, man. People bypass, no
Bypass
matter
all
how,
that.
yeah, no matter how you build it, they'll find a way to bypass. I think, and again, we're gonna do the best that we can. But I, to me, the live events, you can't scam a live event, right?
No.
You're gonna meet, and you'll have a way to, like, say, hey, I met this person, and check out their profile, and that's gonna be a big thing too. If they have a profile, you meet them in person, are they matching their profile? Are they matching the
Yeah.
person I just
I
met in
like
person?
that.
You know?
Okay. So let me ask you this. I believe it or not, I've already downloaded the app. And so it's available on the Apple Store and Google Play for both
No,
phones.
just App Store right now. So
Okay, it's just available.
yeah, we're working through some of the bugs that Android's giving us, so we're almost there.
Okay. Well, so that's where my next question is. So it's you're rolling this out in phases, and
Yes.
so this is what part of it? What part is there? Is it free? What part do you have to pay for? Are there
Oh
different
yeah. So
levels of?
yeah, so the social media aspect, you could share, look at the community and what they're doing right now. We just so we were on the App Store, I want to say over a month now. So we're on the App
Okay.
Store, and then we've worked with some of the communities on what they're building for, soccer, and then for Hopics. So we just have it. We barely started like the social media and getting people there. Like, you still can't leave comments, but we're building the tool aspect of it. We're building that side of it, and then we built the where you at feature. So right now you can use it to find your friends. That's all already available. Invite your friends, add them, and then you can see them on the where you at. The beta, as soon as you turn your status, you're able to see what it's going to look like. You're able to see that once you turn it on, what it looks like. And right now you can already use it for different things. And I'll give you an example. I went to New York, and there was a networking event, and this was a very popular networking event. But part of the questions, I was like, why am I going all the way to New York? Like, it's so hard to find these events, right? That they throw these networking events. But this event was where it was at, and I was like, you know what? Let me go. It's a lot of other, tech entrepreneurs, and I went there, and they're still doing everything with a paper badge, right? Like, you sign in. This is the color. Yeah, yeah. So, so I said to myself, I was like, look, this app could already be used for this event,
Yeah.
right? But we want to show that, and we're going to be working with the gentleman who threw that event when we do our release. And right now, we're just in the testing, getting people to see what it looks like, and then we're right now the team is hard at work at building this one of a kind experience, and we're excited. It's whenever we have something new, we just think that the where you at feature, it's important to have released it now. You want to, in a fun, friendly manner, you want to be able to find your friends when you need to, but there's going to be situations where maybe that tool is something that's going to help somebody in need, right?
Yeah.
That's why I said, look, let's roll this out, and we're getting right now we're barely starting to market each one of these features, and I'm working with a gentleman that does food reviews, and I'm really excited to be working with him. It ended up being this really fascinating tool for somebody who does food reviews. So the collections that you build, and you'll see when you make your first post, it'll make you make a collection, and you got to reselect the collection. But once you make your collections, so say the way that he did them was, he graded foods 10, he graded foods 9 and 8, right? And all the reviews that he did are being put there. When you tap on any one of those and you tap on the top right where the hand is, it'll give you directions on how to get there, or it'll give you the AR guidance. The reason it's so important is because if he does a taco stand on a corner, he could pin it there. If he goes inside of a theme park, which he's going to go with us to Disneyland, and I told him, look, I want you to review the spots within the park. What ends up happening is you'll see that on people's profile, there's a little bookmark feature. When you bookmark that person's profile and you go to your home screen, it'll leave it on there. So say if you go, like you're at a casino, you search up to the casino, go to the Wynn, you search up the Wynn, and you slide over, you'll see all the categories that they're building, right? And we built it as a fan page right now, but we're going to be in talks with them to try to get them to be a part of this social network. And I think when you're there, to be able to get the information right away, I swipe over on the same app. I'm able to find this restaurant that they have inside. I'm able to find the bathrooms, the elevators. Every place offers so much, but you have to download a whole new app every single time you go, right? And trying to find the information is also a pain. So I downloaded the app, but I don't get the information I need right away. That's where the concern and the issue starts. So now I have this guy that's doing these food reviews, and I know that he went to Disneyland. I'll just swipe over and look at his Disney collection, right? I have it on my homepage. I open it. I look at his profile instantly, and I could visit the park through his eyes. And then you do this for so many people that have unique experiences. So I'll say, look, I know that Andrew went to Chicago, and he went to go to a bunch of these different spots. So I'll have your profile saved. When I go there, I'll see the world through your eyes, through the marks that you left. So it's it's exciting that we're finally releasing. We got some big things in the works that we're really excited about. Can't talk about them yet, but I think these connections that we're making.
When do you foresee? I know this is hard to say as an entrepreneur building this platform, but what's the time frame? Do you think that this will be fully up and running? We're talking.
Well, right now the social media aspect is already built. Right,
okay.
That's already built. You can't leave comments on posts, but you can make your posts. You can share your posts. Everything works there. The where you at feature completely works. The dating module, we have the beta out. We think within 2.5 months we'll have the full dating module built. But right now we're excited to just give people, singles in every area. And then the exciting part, like we say, look, we're going to invite you to this event. I know you're single. Bring somebody who's not. Because they could, you're going to see a live experience. When you go out, there's some people that are not going to be a part of this event. So now when you go to this situation, everybody's status is in the room. And I think that's, how many times do you go out and that friend is just here to support the other friend, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you're,
cool.
It's a different aspect. So we're going to start that by inviting a bunch of people in different areas, getting some footage, talking to them, see what they like, and then just kind of build this community as we're heading into the full launch.
It's a project in the works. I see it. Luis, I'm really excited about this. Like I said, I've downloaded it already. I will, a little later this afternoon, I'll go on there. So once I create a profile, I will have I guess like on Instagram, on Facebook, like for my podcast, it's at Anonymous Andrew Podcast.
Yeah.
I'll have it. So like when you go to somebody's company's website or whatever, you see the Facebook icon, the Instagram icon, the LinkedIn icon. So hopefully one day there'll be a Yuan icon there. And
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
yeah. We're already just seeing that now. Is already we already again we're working
cool.
with Hopics and Slammers to be able to see that on their website. It's really cool. Just seeing it come to life. And then some of the other stuff that we got are exciting. And it might happen faster than you think. We're
Oh
just
yeah.
waiting for we're just waiting for some of these bigger connections.
I
And
think you came along at the right time because I think people are starting to get a little bored with what's out there, and
yeah,
I think when you roll this out completely, and the glow. I guess this is going to be global one day. I think they're going to see a completely different thing. I'm bored. Like when they came out with Threads, which was Instagram's answer to Twitter. Who needs another Twitter?
yeah.
Like who needs it? Come on.
Yeah,
So
no, I think the world is looking for something new, and I
yeah,
think this, especially now after what happened with COVID, people, you go to these restaurants, they're packed,
yeah,
right? Even with the economy the way it is, right? It's one of the talks where it's like, look, they're just not slowing it down. People want to go out,
yeah,
and theme parks are packed, like, and then there's the security, like, there's so many things that are happening at a moment's notice. You want to know where people are at.
yeah,
We looked at what happened. It was horrific what happened, and it just lets you know things can happen anywhere.
yeah.
And at that moment, you want to be able to just find your family, find your friends, and so we're excited on what we built. I like this platform. I like the fact that you're going to be able to share things and have people see things through your eyes, have your own memory, like for your kids, where you could say, like, we were at the lake, but this is exactly where we were with my
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
Those little things matter, and I'm excited at the way that we're building it, and I'm excited at the response. We're getting a lot of positive response, people that have been using it, and some of the stuff that we got in the works. So,
Well, I'll tell you, I will. I'm not the biggest podcast out there by no stretch, but I will promote this. I'll put it in the show notes, and then I'll create a profile and I'll put it on my website. I'll do my part and to try to get this word out there, Luis. So we got to wrap it up. I'll put all of your information. You're on Facebook, I think. You're on Instagram.
Instagram, TikTok. If you go to youonapp.com, on the bottom it has all of our social media platforms.
Great.
But so the youonapp.com, you'll be able to find, if you go to connect, on how to sign up for the beta. So if you're just interested in what you're hearing and you think that's something you want to try, look, we invite you to these unique events.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm interested.
So we'll invite you. We already have a couple of different areas, so we're just trying to see what'll work best. So I think within the next 30 days, we throw our first event.
I'm right outside New York City. So when you have an event going on, I think you're on the West Coast, right? You're in. All right.
West Coast. But we are going to be doing an event in Miami. We're going to do, and then we'll add New York. We're going to add as many of these community events before we do our.
Let me know, or just promote it on you. I'm going to follow you, so you let me know or let us know. And all right, Luis, listen, What a brilliant idea, and I wish you the best. And I'm glad somebody, like, I'm sure, I don't know if you came up with this or you had partners, but what a great idea, and I'm really excited for it. So
thank you
so
much.
I want to thank you so much for coming on, and to my audience, check this out. It's youonapp.com. It's UON app.com, and it's like, are you on, right? You're on for tonight? Yeah. I think that's great. So, Luis, thank you for coming on, and maybe we'll have you back in 6 months and you'll give us an update where everything is.
Okay, I'll be happy to do that.
Thank you. I would like to thank Luis for joining me, and I apologize, Luis, for the 4 months of waiting to be this episode to be aired. Podcasting, it was not what I thought it would be, and it is an immensely passionate new hobby of mine, but I am just inundated with, I'm going to be a little what's the opposite of humble? Egotistic here. I would have never thunk a year ago, because the podcast is just about a year old, that I would have guests lining up to be on my podcast. And that's literally what's happening. And now with the Twin Flames universe investigation, I posted on Facebook that I'm looking to do this, and I have been getting an overwhelming response. So I want to thank everybody from the 2 Facebook groups and anybody else who has come on. We have a long way to go, folks. I'm just starting this investigation. But in the meantime, go check out Luis's app, Yuan. I do have it, and I am using it. It is an interesting app. So like I say, check it out. Check out everything in the show notes. All the information will be there. And as always, if you're enjoying the show, please take a couple of seconds and just go to the bottom on Apple or Spotify. I actually noticed on Spotify, each episode you can comment on. Not just Apple, you can just comment on the whole podcast. Spotify lets you do each episode. So please, if you're on Spotify, please let me know. And to those who have been complaining about the audio on this podcast, it is not being it's not falling on deaf ears. I am looking into it, and I am working very diligently on fixing the audio. I have several new software apps, and it's just a matter of getting them to all sync together. So just bear with me. I'm doing the best I can to get this audio out. And if you are going to make a choice in a relationship, please, I urge you to think, is this person the right person for me? Until next time, folks. Ciao.